Hello and welcome. I can't believe I'm already saying this, but we are coming to the end of the 2021 Call of Duty League season. So much has happened and it has completely flown by. So I'd love now for you to join me at a look back in the year that was Call of Duty League season. This doesn't feel right.
What the f***? I thought you were only supposed to use that for emergencies.
I am so glad you're dressed. I need you, my friend. I need your help looking back at the year that was in the Call of Duty League.
Well, at the very least, that is something I think I can manage.
Okay, Chance, let's go back to stage one. When we came into the year, we had this idea that all rosters were going to be pretty good. We were excited about everything on paper, but there was one roster to rule them all. Atlanta FaZe, man. Like, they were going to be the top dogs no matter what. Did you feel this way? Was this the vibe you had?
I mean, I think everyone did, right? It's very much of like, it's just such a stacked roster that unless like they don't like mold into the game quite well, we were kind of expecting to be the top team. And then, I don't know how you felt about it, but after the first major came through, the word dynasty started getting tossed around just a little bit. And I was one of the guys that took the bait and I was like, I don't know, man, this might be a dynasty. Like, I don't know what you have to do to beat this team because it's just, they're absurd. They're completely absurd.
FaZe, they're flawless. So then we get to the stage one major, and New York Subliners, despite those weird roster changes to the situation they're going through, they have a pretty decent run of things. FaZe looked dominant as ever, so did Dallas, but then when things get to the nitty gritty, we get to that grand finals, FaZe get their revenge over Dallas. And it was a real exciting one, but it was definitely not the last time we'd see these two teams go up against each other.
Atlanta absolutely dominates the first stage major.
So then we get to stage two, and oh baby, chances, we start things off with a bang. Methods gets dropped from Toronto Ultra, and they bring in Insight. Community was up in arms. It was chaos.
Up in arms, like almost for good reason. I think if you were like ranking some of the most undroppable players, like Methods was the poster boy for the squad, and he was playing well. He was on point, his respawn game was solid, and even from what we expect from Methods as a teammate, like it caught everyone completely off guard, and especially for Insight. Like a guy that unless you paid attention to like Black Ops 4 champs, you would have never even heard of, and then oh my God, did Insight immediately set the tone. I mean, he broke the record on Miami SMB, a map that I'm not gonna forget anytime soon. That kid is disgusting.
Insight, he's been playing so well, but can he pull off a clutch? They line up!
Who would have known it? Going into the major, they lose against FaZe in the winner's bracket, and then they just bang their way through every single team they come across until they get to the grand finals, and then what do they do against FaZe? They win it! They win the whole thing! Nobody saw that one coming. We were calling the match, we didn't see this one coming. The greatest underdog going into the tournament, they take the best team in the league the whole way.
Not even just they win, like their comms completely transformed, Bance himself completely transformed. Like that was a man that we later found out was like, he was thinking about quitting. But then like his breathing kicked in, started eating a little bit more watermelon, and like he found that meditative state and just completely hit form. In the finals, I think he dropped like a 1.4 as an SMG against FaZe in a best of 9. Easily the best tournament performance of his entire career.
Taking over in these defensive rounds, and he's not slowing down anytime soon.
But Insight wasn't the only rookie that joins the team and makes a big splash. We also saw Standy join Minnesota Rokkr. What are they going to do? 3-0 OpTic. We see Paul X join London, transfer their game around, and then we see Neptune join the Florida Mutineers, and he quickly becomes one of our favorite players to watch with seemingly boundless potential. So now we get to stage 3, and this is it. We finally get the rise of the New York Subliners. HyDra makes it to the country. Hail HyDra. He turns New York Subliners game around entirely.
He had a ton of pressure on his shoulders, especially to finally fit in with the roster, playing with Clay, world champions. I can imagine a more stressful situation, and he was gifted FaZe like right as his like introductory test and knocked it out of the park.
What a play from the French phenom.
They ended up beating FaZe, which that is the benchmark. You can do that, you can be the best team in the world. And the crazier thing too is, as dominant as his respawn game started as, and he has continued that throughout the year, his S&D improved immediately. So anything you want from the kid, improving his English, improving his S&D gameplay, whatever it was, HyDra provided immediately. One of the warmest welcomes to the professional league that I think we've ever had in Call of Duty.
But Chance, we can't forget about our boys Toronto Ultra. They had such a good stage 2. Stage 3, pretty damn good as well. They go 15-1 throughout the stage. still remaining super consistent.
Toronto looked like they snowballed like the momentum they had from stage 2 and seemingly got even better. Frankly, some of the best Call of Duty we've seen throughout the entire year.
They truly are ultra as So stage 3 major rolls around. New York Subliners continue the hot hand they dealt throughout the stage, and they are taking names, they're kicking ass, they're chewing bubblegum, and they are singing all the way to the grand final.
And it was nutty too, because they were like the first team that I really think you saw had any like maybe clear-cut edge against FaZe until you got to the grand finals and FaZe reclaimed the title of just like the boogeyman of the league. But once they got on HyDra, that potential you saw immediately to be the best team in the world. And yes, they fell short, but like it was super short notice. I don't even think that team really hit their skill ceiling with that roster. That was a moment through stage 3 where like you just got to see the potential.
We saw a lot of potential. I think that stage 3 major as well. We had 3, maybe 4 teams that could have won the whole thing. New York looked great. Toronto coming in trying to get the back-to-back. FaZe still so quietly dominant in the wings the whole time. And OpTic had a decent run, man. Only until they managed to lose out to Toronto in another heartbreaking Game 5 Round 11 for OpTic fans. But that was a wild, wild major to watch. Stage 3 finished, now a chance we get to stage 4. And this was where we really have the big boy table, the adult table, really truly set. You've got your Ultras, you've got your FaZe, you've got your Subliners, you've got Dallas there for a little bit, but they make a huge change in bringing Vivid onto the roster, man.
Vivid, when he was playing on the Guerrillas, they weren't getting results, but he was still one of those players that you could just see the potential. You put him on a roster with Dallas, the world champs, immediately my brain is like, they're gonna do it. This team's gonna be insane. And then it started, and it wasn't. And he had some horrifically bad maps, like quadruple negative on some checkmates. It was a topsy-turvy run for them. That is a team that very much throughout the middle stages really was struggling.
And you saw the scoreboard really struggling on the Dallas Empire side is those submachine guns. They could not get rolling.
Then, chance we finally make it to that stage 4 major. We're back to LAN. It is the most incredible breath of fresh air. Everything seems to be healing. All these teams thought they were going to be great on LAN because they were bad online.
Anything that could have like gone negatively at the tournament for some teams certainly did.
Asim unable to make it into the country because of visa issues, and the LA Thieves having him literally make a last-second roster change moments before going on stage. It was a crazy event, but it was good to be back. Chance, the biggest story of the major wasn't a spelling mistake, it was Dallas Empire. Coming out of nowhere, they didn't have a very good stage 4. They show up to LAN and all of a sudden, they were some of the biggest dogs barking. They eliminate Toronto Ultra in one of the most exciting matches we saw. And then they go to the grand finals with FaZe, and we had a Game 9. The first time in COD history, Game 9, and oh baby was it a fun.
And toe-to-toe as well, like Dallas, they were a map away from winning the damn thing. And like, that is very much the world champ form, phenomenal coaching staff, great players that like, they go the extra mile. They found the improvements, they integrated Vivid better into their roster. In my mind, they certainly did good enough at the major that at this point, we know they can win.
Chance, we have to talk about Vivid though, man. Come the major, everything just seemed to click for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much like inconsistency was sort of his problem, right? When he is good, his output is completely absurd. And then by major time, it was every single map. He was doing his thing. And it's not even just like him as an individual where like he was taking over games. He's setting his teammates up wonderfully. Like if you look at iLLeY's performances, even the same thing, a little bit inconsistent. Now that Vivid is running in front of him, he got used to that environment. Even iLLeY started to pop off a little bit more. So Vivid was like the perfect guy to bring on the team and really just brought it together in stage 4 in such an incredible way.
At the end of the day though, while the gap may be closing between so many of these teams, Atlanta FaZe, they're still the top dogs. With their 3rd major win of the year now under their belt, they're still the best in the biz. So now, Chance, we're finally here at stage 5, the last stage here in the 2021 season. And OpTic, everything's looking pretty good so far. They have a really decent start to the stage.
OpTic in stage 5, like completely on point. Their gameplay starts coming together. You take down FaZe. If you could beat the best team in the world, that is when you know OpTic is on point. But even guys like Scump and Envoy, and Scump especially, has like evolved his gameplay. His S&D stats, completely bonkers, the things that he has started to do. They have proven to themselves that they can beat the best team in the game. Now it's about just executing that at a major, but by God, did they look good in the group stage.
OpTic, they get their win in the series. You can see the boys are fired up about that one.
And now it's on to the actual major itself. OpTic's gameplay's looking great. They're starting to peak at the right time. All the usual suspects are looking really strong. Dallas looking good, coming off the back of second place in Major 4. And we've got fans. But little did we know this was going to be the most unforgettable major by far, Chucks.
And it was like a game of one-upsmanship as well, because like things start off and like Minnesota Rokkr starts beating the best teams in the game one by one and sending them to losers. Seattle's working their way through losers, how impressive they are on land, and then we're like, oh, but now they have to play against FaZe. That sucks for them. Turns out, no, it doesn't. They beat FaZe, knocked them out after the year that those guys have had. I mean, that might be one of the most unpredictable series of all time.
That grand finals was unforgettable, man. I mean, this was a 5-map comeback. This is one of the greatest comebacks we'll ever see, ever. Nothing compared to Full Sail. You can't compare like FaZe versus OpTic, you know, the comebacks there. Like, this is truly one of the most amazing moments in COD history, bar none. We may never see anything this great ever again. We might have peaked.
It is something that, by the way, solidifies its edge as the most clutch Call of Duty player in history. I mean, he's got the 1v3s running through artilleries. He's got the 0-3 comebacks from years ago. Everyone knows in the 1v1s that he is the Reaper in those situations. But now he's got that 0-4 comeback just to make sure there is no argument. Most clutch player we have in COD.
Fans, they were unforgettable. The roar of the crowd, the electricity of having people in the venue again. It reminded all of us of like why we're doing this. The energy was incredible. Green Wall fans screaming. It was truly an event to be remembered. Woof, what a year it's been. The second season of the CDL was full of twists and turns and all sorts of madness, but we're not done yet.
That's right, Miles. Coming up real soon, we have playoffs in Los Angeles from August 19th to the 22nd. And man, I gotta tell you, after Rokkr's win for the last major, I have no idea what the hell to expect.
I've got no idea what's going to be happening either. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be there. I hope to see you there as well. We'll see you at playoffs.
What the f is going on with your hands?